Great day and welcome back, ML Warriors. Have you learned a lot from last week's lesson? I hope you do. This week, we will be having another informative lecture on organization and management, and I know you are all excited. I am Mrs. Jacqueline G. Melendez, your guide in today's video discussion. But before we start, don't forget to click the subscribe button for more videos and don't hesitate to leave your comments, questions, or clarifications about our topic. In this lesson, we will study the different forms of business organization, and you will learn to differentiate the various forms of business organization. What is a business organization? The term business organization refers to how a business is structured. It refers to a commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. The choice of the form of business is governed by several interrelated and interdependent factors. The nature of business as the most important factor. The scale of operations, like volume of business, whether large, medium, or small scale, and size of the market area, whether local, national, or international. The degree of control desired by the owners. Amount of capital required for the establishment and operation of a business. The volume of risks and liabilities, as well as the willingness of the owners to bear it. And comparative tax liability. Suppose you want to open your own sari-sari store that will need 10,000 to start, and you use your 10,000 savings to start the said business. You are the sole owner of the said sari-sari store. This type of business is called the sole or single proprietorship. What is your idea of a sole proprietorship? Sole proprietorship is a form of business owned by one person, the simplest and the most common form of business organization. It is not separate from the owner. The business and the owner are inseparable. There are advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship form of business. The advantages are the following. It is easy to form and operate, since few legal requirements are needed in setting up the business. The owner makes all the decisions. The owner has complete control over the business. The owner keeps all the profits. The owner do not have to share profits, thus making him to work hard. The disadvantages are: business has limited life. The life of the business is limited to the life of the owner. Once the owner dies, the business will cease to operate under the name of the proprietor. Owners has limited skills. There's no shared ideas. There's no shared decision making. The owner has unlimited liability. Business is not a separate legal entity. Therefore, owner is fully responsible for the debts of the business. Limited access to capital. The amount of capital is limited only by the wealth of the proprietor. What if the needed amount to start your dream sari-sari store is 50,000 and you only have 25,000 cash savings? You ask John, your friend, if he is willing to invest his 25,000 and become part owner of the sari-sari store. Assuming he agrees, partnership form of business organization was created. Partnership is a form of business owned by two or more persons. The owner is called a partner. Each partner contributed capital and takes part in the running of business. The details of the arrangement between the partners are outlined in a written document called Articles of Partnership. Thus, profits are divided among partners based on their agreed sharing. Partnership agreements usually include the amount of capital invested by partners, the tasks to be undertaken by each partner, how profits are to be shared, the lifespan of the partnership, arrangement for absences, retirement, and new partners being admitted. The advantages and disadvantages of partnership. The advantages are more capital. Needs higher capital because two or more persons will contribute to the common fund. Easy to operate. It is easy to operate like sole proprietorship. In here, responsibilities can be shared, easier to take leave, and losses are shared. Increased skills. There's shared ideas and decision making. The disadvantages are profits are shared. The profits are divided among the partners. Unlimited liability. A partner can be held liable for the acts of the other partners. In a lawsuit, the personal properties of the partners can be held beyond their contributions and may be used to answer for any liability of the partnership. Limited life. If one partner dies, the partnership ends. Decision making can be difficult when there are disagreements. One incompetent or dishonest partner could cause other partners to suffer. Assuming your dreams is to open a grocery store and not just a sari-sari store, but you will need 1 million to start the said business. You have only 25,000, your friend John has 25,000, and your mother is willing to invest her 50,000. But still, these are not enough to start your dream grocery store. Where will you get the money to raise the 1 million? You may consider setting up a corporation. A corporation is a business organized as a separate legal entity under the corporation law with ownership divided into transferable shares of stocks. The Corporation Code of the Philippines is the law that creates a corporation. The corporation begins its existence from the date the Articles of Incorporation is approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, is a government agency primarily tasked to regulate private corporations in the Philippines. The owners are called stockholders or shareholders. The ownership is divided into shares and the value of one share may be denominated at smaller amount, for example, at 10 pesos per share. And the proof of ownership is evidenced by stock certificate. The word corporation or incorporation appears in the name of the entity. The voting rights of a shareholder is generally based on the percentage of ownership, and the management of the business is delegated by the shareholders to the board of directors. The advantages of a corporation form of business are the following. It can easily raise additional funds by selling shares of stocks to the public. Shareholders are not personally liable for the debts of the corporation. The extent of their liability is limited to their equity or ownership in the corporation. The disadvantages of a corporation are: it is relatively complicated to set up. subject to several legal restrictions as listed in the Corporation Code of the Philippines, subject to corporate tax and dividend tax, or the so-called double taxation, and controlled by a group, causing delay in policy. Assuming all the mothers in your barangay decided to open a sari-sari store where all the members can buy in cash or in credit. Some mothers were also taught to sew dresses and bags as part of the project of the group. These bags are then sold to a certain company. Aside from that, the organization provides seminars to the members on various topics involving mothers and their roles. At the end of the year, the profits are distributed among the members based on their capital contribution. The amount of their purchases in the sari-sari store during the year is also computed, and they receive something out of the profit or surplus based on their purchases. This form of business organization is called a cooperative. A cooperative is a duly registered association of persons with a common bond of interest, voluntarily joining together to achieve their social, economic, and cultural needs. The owners are called members who contribute equitably to the capital of the cooperative. Thus, the members are expected to patronize their products and services. The word cooperative appears in the name of the entity. This form of business organization is regulated by the Cooperative Development Authority. The advantages of a cooperative form of business are: the cooperative enjoys certain tax exemption privilege and promotes the concept of sharing resources. While the disadvantages of a cooperative form of business are the following: it has limited distribution of surplus or profits, requires continuous education programs for members, needing the members to be active and direct participation in the business of the cooperative. For your assignment, summarize all the forms of business organizations. Give a brief description of each form by filling out the blank matrix. And that's the end of our lesson for today. Hope you learned something on today's video discussion. Good luck in answering your modules. Don't forget to answer the evaluation link below. Thank you. Handang isip, handa bukas. Tara, ML na tayo!